Welcome to the Edge of Greatness podcast.
When you hear the word passion from one of your kids, one of your athletes, what kind of conversation do you have with them about that?
Yeah, we talk about bringing the juice, right? Having the want to about you. This sense, Ben Newman calls it the burn, right? It's just this sense of there's something in you that wakes you up. No alarm clock needed. There's this sense, it's that thing that is in you that is longing to get out, that you are willing to storm the gates of hell with the Super Soaker 9000 for. And that's something that can't be coached, that's something that has to come from you. But it's something that I think the conversation goes to the most is to say that my passion doesn't need to be your passion. And in fact, it can't be. That you can't be driven by my want to. That as a coach, I can want the world for a kid. But my want to is going to find its limits. And there's going to come a point where my want to can't do it for you anymore. And now, like a little baby bird, you got to jump out of the nest, right? Mama bird has been bringing food to you. And now mama bird can't do that. Mama birds can't do it for you anymore. And now you got to jump out of the nest and you got to fly and you got to go find your own worms. And there's got to be something in you. And it could be, hey, I want to be the first in my family I want to break the cycle. It could be this sense of, I just want to make an impact on my friends. It could be based on their faith. It could be any number of things. But there's this sense that whatever the drive is, it's got to be your drive. And the work will expose you if you're living on someone else's want to. Boy, that alarm clock goes off at 4:01, 4:02. Boy, you start hitting the snooze button. Yeah, you're living on somebody else's want to. Right now, it's going to cost you more to do right than it would to do wrong, and you choose to do wrong. Boy, you're living with somebody else's want to. There comes a moment where now it's better for the team if I'm second string, but it's better for me if I'm first string. And I'm gonna be upset that I'm not getting mine, so I'm gonna take my toys and go home. You're living on somebody else's want to. See, and so the conversation is always, hey, you can start with my vision, you can start with my want to, but we've got to work towards yours. Why does this matter to you?
I like that. I like the evolution too of you can choose to start somewhere with somebody else's, but eventually you have to own what you're chasing, when you own that passion, and then all the little pieces that go with it. Because, having a passion is great. That's cool. You're motivated. But when it gets hard, is it really your passion or is there something else that's driving you? Because I think that's a valuable piece that often gets overlooked.
And here's a great picture of why this matters. How many student athletes have we seen who in high school are awesome, disciplined, locked in, they're doing great. But then they graduate high school and they go to college and they're completely lost. And all their discipline goes away, and they become a completely different person. Or they graduate high school and they don't go anywhere. They don't do anything. They just kind of sit around and just get older, working a dead-end job. And you go, okay, well, what happened? Well, in high school, they were living off of coaches' want to, but there was no development of ethos. There was no development of their own want to. And so once coaches' want to was removed from their lives, they were exposed. They had nothing. All they had learned was how to play a kid's game. That's why developing character and leadership within our athletes is so important, because what we are giving them is a foundation to stand on once the training wheels of having a coach are removed. We're giving them a structure and a scaffolding that they can build life on when the scaffolding of an administration and a teaching staff in a school, when that structure is removed, like we gotta set them up to be successful. And that's why going beyond the game is so important.
Thank you for joining us today on the Edge of Greatness podcast. If you haven't yet, please take a minute now to subscribe and review our show. Join us again next week as we continue to dig deeper into the key components of greatness. The path to greatness is never linear, so remember to keep pursuing greatness no matter what. Keep stretching your abilities, reach for the stars, and fall flat on your face. But remember, no matter what happens, whenever we fall, always get up. Until next time, I'm Charles Schultz, and this was the Edge of Greatness Podcast.